The Knox County Library here with some great back-to-school books to share with your child as summer comes to a close and they head back to the classroom.
Moira, we'll go ahead and toss it over to you.
All right, one of my favorite subjects now, we're going to talk about reading. And back to school, you know, it can be overwhelming for kids who are starting school for the first time or even moving to a new school. Erin Nguyen is here now. She specializes in children's books with the Knox County Library, and we appreciate it so much.
Thanks for having me.
A lot of parents are anxious about their kids' first day of school. So let's talk about some of the books that you recommend.
Sure. I brought a list here today. One of the good ones for anybody starting school is First Day Hooray by Nancy Poydar, because it talks about how not only students but also teachers, principals, school bus drivers, everybody's a little bit nervous about the first day, but if you're prepared and you're ready, it can be a great success.
And what a fun looking book. I mean, great colors and all that. So then you've also got Starting School for the First Time.
Right. Wemberly Worried is one of my very, very favorite books about starting school, and it's great for preschoolers or kindergartners who are starting for the first time. I think kids can relate to Wemberly. She worries about everything, including starting school, but her family and her new teacher and some friends help her get through the first day.
And I recognize the author. I mean, he's well known.
Henkes, and he just knows kids so well.
Okay, so kindergarten.
So kindergarten, we've got a long list, but I tried to narrow it down just a little bit to some of the best ones. Welcome to Kindergarten here by Rockwell. That is just a good overview of what to expect when you go to school. This little boy is visiting his classroom before school starts, so he sees all the different centers. They talk about snack time, which of course is very important.
Right, of course.
And he meets his teacher, so it's just a good way to kind of alleviate some of the fears kids might have about the unexpected things that are coming up.
Right. Miss Bindergarten gets ready for kindergarten.
Right,
That's
and this
cute.
is the first in a series, so kids can learn a lot about what to expect in kindergarten with this series. And it's also an alphabet book because each of Miss Bindergarten's students, their first names start with a different letter.
Very important for kindergartners. Okay, let's move on to first grade now.
Sure. Now, you know, first grade, they're changing a little bit, so it can be a different challenge for them, and they don't know what to expect even though they've gotten through a successful year of kindergarten. So First Day Jitters by Quackenbush is a good one to, you know, let kids know that even though it's different, they'll still have a good time in kindergarten.
Okay. So then we want to move on up to if you're going to a new school, which happens if you're moving, it happens if you're moving up, whatever.
Yeah, this is, the one I brought today was The New Girl by Cabot. It's part of the Allie Finkle's Rules for Girls series. It's actually the second book in this series. In this one, Allie's starting at a new school, and she encounters something that a lot of kids will come into contact with, which is a bully. But she learns how to deal with that and deal with all the new situations that are coming up with a lot of funny and you know, very helpful tips from her family and friends.
Okay, very good. Now let's talk about middle school. Such a time of anxiety for kids.
Right. I wanted to make sure to talk about some nonfiction that we have, because we have lots of good nonfiction books at the library to help kids with that transition into adolescence and all the changes that are coming about. This one, I think the title is great, Too Old for This, Too Old for That, which is, I think, what a lot of middle schoolers are feeling, what they're going through. And so this talks about all the changes and how to deal with those. And I also brought a couple of fiction titles as well. How to Survive Middle School is a really funny one. You can just tell by the hamster there on the cover.
Uses a little humor to diffuse the situation.
Exactly, yeah. And then Schooled, which is sort of an outsider's view of middle school. This boy, who's the main character, has never been to school in his entire life, so starting middle school is a big shock to him, but it's a good way to show kids to be true to yourself.
All right, and then on to high school.
And then on to high school. This is Sleeping Freshmen Never Lie, and the boy in this book, Scott, as he's starting high school, he finds out that his mom is pregnant. So he uses his time as a freshman to make a survival guide for kids about how to get through, high school, all the new challenges, trying to cope with all the activities, girls, all that stuff. So.
And then finally, we only have time for one more. 97 things to do before you finish high school.
This is a really, really fun book, and even I haven't done some of these things, so I want to go back and try to do some of them. But it's got things like the practical things like getting a driver's license, but also fun things like hosting a film festival, going on a road trip. So it's just a great way to take advantage of your high school career.
All right. Thank you so much, Erin. We appreciate your time and your great suggestions this morning.
Thanks for having me.